Nicolette is going to share a quick video about HGACBuy with us now.
Good morning and welcome to HGACBuy's virtual open house. We know you have some very busy schedules out there, but you're here with us. I'm your host, Joshua Cartier, and this is my lovely co-host, Nicolette Greenhouse.
That's right, Josh. We're excited to share a little bit about HGACBuy and today's featured contracts with you. So let's get right into it.
Sure thing. Why don't we start with a little bit of trivia? If you know what HGACBuy stands for, drop it in the chat box below. I'll give you a hint. While our offices are located in Houston, Texas, we are a nationwide property purchasing program that has been operating for over 45 years.
That's right, Josh. As a contractor-funded program, we help thousands of local governments save millions of dollars by offering competitively bid contracts, all completely free. Going out to bid for our members not only saves them money, but a considerable amount of time.
Aha, and time is money. That's why we make the joining process very simple. We have the interlocal contract form on our website, and we'll be dropping links to that right now. We'll also be answering that trivia question for you guys. HGACBuy, helping governments across the country buy. That's what we do, and that's our name.
Yes, it is, Josh. Another important fact about HGACBuy is that we take pride in partnering with others to make the cooperative purchasing process simpler and more beneficial. For instance, current members of Sacramento Area Council of Governments, Mid-America Regional Council, Baltimore Metropolitan Council, and the Municipal Association of South Carolina automatically become members of HGACBuy, and they do not have to complete the online ILC form. Additionally, all members of HGACBuy, regardless of how you join, can get the wonderful benefits of our collaboration with the National Cooperative Procurement Partners.
Wonderful, Nicolette. Speaking of those benefits, let's not forget that HGACBuy keeps all of our solicitation documents available for our members at their request. In addition, unlike most other cooperative purchasing programs, we ensure the compliance of all of our orders. When it comes time to be audited, that could be a lifesaver.
A lifesaver for sure, Josh. Well, that's all for us this morning. If you would like to learn more about HGACBuy or you would like to contact us, please download that contact card in the chat box below.
And as Nicolette said, that's all we have today, guys. Let's turn it over to our vendors.
All right, thank you, Nicolette. As we said in the video, feel free to contact us. Our contact information is in the chat. If you are a member or you're in the process of joining, you don't know which way to go, Stephanie Huey's contact, you can contact her. If you have orders in process, LaWanda is the person. If you're just lost in the sauce, don't know what to do, where to go, I'm your lady. Contact me. Before we get to our vendors, I just want to check something. If everyone on the call can see the question I just put in the chat, could you respond to it, please? I just want to make sure you can see it. Brenham, Texas? Okay, I'm from Navasota. I love that.
Really?
Yes, I am. I live in Houston. All right, Plano. Okay, I see it's working. I see you guys. San Antonio, Maryland. All right, as we said, we have members nationwide all over. So thank you guys for using that chat. Thanks for finding it and keeping it up. Make sure that during the presentations, you continue to use it, drop those questions in the chat, and at the end of our vendors presentations, we will get to them. So let's get started. Let's get to our first presentation from Duke's Root Control. Brian?
Good morning. So good morning. My name is Brian Conroy. I'm with Duke's Root Control, and I'm here with Michelle Harrod. She's our Vice President of Infrastructure Program Management. And we're so proud to be vendors with the HGAC. And our goal this morning is to share with you a couple of the services that are available through the HGAC contract SCO1 that you could take advantage of. A little bit about Duke's. We are a nationwide service providing wastewater services to sewer agencies all across the country. We have 14 branches across the country and over 200 employees. Most of those employees are service people providing the technologies and products to our clients on a daily basis. We service those 48 states. And we've been in business for over 40 years. I myself have been with Dukes for nearly 39 years, and I'm very proud to be a part of Dukes. One of the services that we offer and we're going to highlight today is our root control service. And to give you an idea of just extensive our experience in that regard, we've treated over 400 million feet of pipe in the United States, control roots. One of the strategies that we want to share with you today is what we call our Dukes 360 Smart Wastewater Strategy. And this is a process in which we help guide our clients through pinpointing and diagnosing their collection system to help renew it in order to perform better and get a return on investment in the program. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the presentation, we have our Dukes 360 circle, which comprises of triage, diagnostics, renew, and monitor. I'll explain those to you as we move along. First of all, the first stage of this Dukes 360 program is triage, where we're using some very innovative high-tech technology to accurately prioritize a collection system, determine where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck on improving the performance of your sewer system and starting to get a return on your investment. A typical triage program involves acoustic inspection, eye tracking, and manhole inspection. By utilizing these three technologies overlaid on GIS, we can pinpoint down to 2 adjacent manholes where your I&I is entering your system. We can give you a complete condition assessment of every single manhole in that area of study. But through the acoustic inspection, we can tell you which pipes are clean and which ones are dirty. Which ones do you need to focus on? Once we've collected all of that information, we send it to the center of that 360 circle, which is called the Dukes 360 dashboard. Here, the information is analyzed by our experienced professional engineers and team members, share it with our clients, and decisions are made as to what the next step should be. The next step is moving into the diagnose phase. Here, we're going to use a little bit more in-depth investigation like CCTV or smoke testing to better determine what the actual defects are. Once we know what the defects are, we can assign the correct renewal or rehabilitation or preventive maintenance program that's going to solve these problems. Again, that information is shared with the clients through our interactive dashboard of information to make those decisions sound. So this gets us into the bulk of that Dukes 360 program, the renewal phase. This is where we want to help our clients the most, to be able to focus the most of their CIP money into actually upgrading and renewing their sewer system. We want to reduce the cost of the investigation so that more funding is available to actually make the repairs that are needed. In this phase, there's going to be secured in place pipe, there's going to be replacement, there's going to be point repairs, and preventive maintenance programs will be included as well, like chemical root control, fog control, bioaugmentation, H2S reduction, many of the O&M issues that you might find during the investigation that need some correction. And we're highlighting here our root control service. Dukes provides a guaranteed chemical root control service where any section of pipe we treat, we guarantee you will not have another stoppage caused by roots for either 2 or 3 years. This is something you'll not find with any other company. To give you an example of the effectiveness of our root control, we currently, as I mentioned earlier, have treated over 400 million feet of pipe. We have thousands of municipal clients utilizing the service on a day-to-day basis. And by using the HGAC contract, our prices on HGAC are about 10% less than they are for our standard pricing. So all of the clients that go through HGAC are going to get more done the same amount of money. Finally brings us into our final phase, which is the monitoring phase. This is where we're going to post-monitor to see that all of the funds that have been spent on renewing the assets are getting their return, that you're getting your increased performance in sewer system, that we've achieved the goals that we set out to achieve, and finally to perform permanent monitoring and some predictive analysis so that these problems don't just creep up on us again and become overwhelmed, but we can see results of this on a day-to-day basis. One of the highlights I'd like to make about the utilizing the Dukes 360 Smart Wastewater Strategy is a city called Ponca City, Oklahoma. Ponca City utilized our triage Dukes 360 services to analyze about 14 or 15 miles of pipe. Their total cost for the investigation was about $80,000, but from that, they were able to develop over $6 million in capital improvement programs that have pinpointed and focused on issues that need to be corrected so they can improve the performance of their collection system, eliminate sanitary sewer overflows, and add years of life to their collection system. Both the root control and the Dukes 360 Smart Wastewater Strategy are available on the SCO1 contract. Lisa Schaefer is our primary contact at Dukes when needing to get a quote from us for these services, and we have her contact information here. And that's it for now. Does anybody have any questions?
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Brian.
you.
If you do have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or write them down, because at the end, you'll be able to unmute yourself and ask your questions on your own. So thanks, Brian. Great job. Dukes is a very active contractor with us, and we are proud that you guys presented today. Up next, we will hear from Datamatic.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just a little bit of background like Brian gave about his company. I'm the president of two companies that are sister companies based here in Plano, Texas. First one is called Datamatic Incorporated. The other is SPMR LLC. The real simple way to describe that is that both of those provide utility solutions for utilities around I would say around the globe, but basically North America and the Caribbean represents our customer base. The older of the two is Datamatic, been around for 45 years. We're all based here in Plano, Texas in one form or another. And the net of it is, if there is meter reading to be done, that's what we do. We don't sell meters, like a Neptune might or a Census or people like that, but we do sell all of the meter reading technologies necessary to read your meters. I am going to talk about our automation product, AMI, called Cyclops, that you can hopefully see there on the screen. The unique thing about Cyclops is that it is photo and cellular based. So without disparaging anybody else's concept of what automation really means, going to the next screen right here, traditional AMI systems mean that you're replacing every single meter and every single part of equipment that's down in that meter box. Typically, at the end of the day, when people buy automation systems, they end up costing over $500 per point. As an example, we just got a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request of information back on a contract down in Mission, Texas. So it's recent. It's close to us folks who are based here in Texas. $543 per point when the dust settles. Okay. So there are solutions that are out there that are a lot more efficient for reading your hard to read meters. And most people don't have all meters with the same level of problem. But net of it is, when you consider that there's $500 per point, and without going into the pricing for my product, I'd prefer that either you call me directly or you contacted the folks at HGAC. We can tell you that it's less than half of that price. We don't require a meter change out because we're photo based. I'll show you what the equipment looks like, but just a little bit of imagery. I think Nicolette had indicated the more times used pictures, the better. A direct read register is what unautomated meters have, unautomated utilities have in the ground. They don't have electronics coming out of them. They don't have any posts coming off them. For example, there's an older Neptune Schlumberger type meter where they've still got the screw posts, the Phillips head screw posts on there for somebody to connect wires for an encoded meter, a smart meter out there. And the same thing with this picture down on the left-hand side that has a custom connector on there at the bottom. We don't require that because we're going to end up delivering a photograph to you and to the end user consumer of what that reading looks like every single day. A real live picture of a meter is at the bottom. I've blown it up to the extent that's a little bit fuzzier than it really is. But at the end of the day, every single day at midnight, you're going to get a picture of a meter, no matter where it is. In a water filled pit, it could be, behind barbed wire. This picture right here happens to be at a prison in Oklahoma. So you can imagine the challenges that they have of reading a meter at a prison. You don't show up expecting Brian, for example, and say, "Hi, I'm Andy. I'm here to read the meter at the prison." That it doesn't work that simple. And likewise, there's places where they have important customers, that may be a council member, or they may be somebody that owns an important business in their town to do that. I failed to say that, just to put it in perspective, we have about 243, 245 customers out there, utilities: Austin, Fort Worth, El Paso, Gwinnett County, which is Atlanta, Georgia's northern county out there, Tampa, Broward County. And then we have a bunch of utilities that are very, very small. We may have some people with 1,000 meters or whatnot. So again, knowing that I have maybe about 4 minutes left, everything is photo based on the camera end module that we have. You get clear, undeniable validation of a reading. You get it converted into a reading for you. So when you look at your computer, when you fire up with coffee in the morning, you get a picture and a reading every single day. We have software that allows you to look at the reads and the pictures of every single day, going back as long as you've had that unit out there. I'm going to try to switch to, can you see the screen that I've shifted to here?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So this is what it ends up looking like for somebody in Cushing, Oklahoma. That is their prison camera, taking a picture every single day for as long as they've had that unit out there. They can look at individual pictures, going back days, months, years as necessary. Everything is Google Map. They can find out where these locations are with real Google Map options. There's a bunch of reporting and things. Everything is web-based. So there is no software that is delivered to you to put on your PC where you fear the blue screen of death. I'm going to shift over a little bit quickly here and just say, if you are in the manual meter reading business, I'm looking at Austin's data right here. You can look at all the reader activity live for how many they've read today, 4,501 in our heat. You can even see what's going on with them out there in the field. Green means they're actively reading. Red push pins mean that they haven't read in the prescribed period of time. They've taken longer break than they were supposed to out there. I think at the end of the day, if I will switch back to my document here, what does the device look like? What does this stuff look like? I'm going to get this up here. From above, this is what the camera enclosure looks like. It affixes to the face of the register. It is mounted in such a way that it is not going to come off. It'll create a watertight bond on the meter face. Clear plastic, you can still read it. The camera is taking a picture and illuminating at midnight. It is not visible to the human eye. It's infrared, like a game camera that you can't see. See if I can get to the next picture here without. Here's what it might look like from the side, affixed to the face of an older meter out there. Again, clear lucite plastic. The cable terminates with where the meter radio is, which is up near the lid, ideally through the lid. I'm sure even the Neptune folks would say the same thing. The underside of the camera, of course, it's fully potted. That's what the shiny area is here. A camera, 4 LEDs that kind of make it look like a koala bear right there. And what does the whole getup look like? It looks like this. The black meter interface unit that's up by the lid is over here. And of course, that cable comes in a default of 5 feet. It goes up to 30 feet. So closing out, we have applications where we have 30-foot cables at Shreveport, Louisiana. We have 5-foot cables around the country in Georgia, Florida, California, Texas. And if you have any further information that you'd like to find out about Cyclops or anything that we do, I'll have sent this and provided it to Nicolette. SPMRsmart.com is the product web page for all of my SPMR meter reading products. So I appreciate your time.
So thank you very much. Next up, we will hear from Green Equipment.
Thank you very much for your time and coming for this. Green Equipment's been a partner with HGAC for a while, and we also work a contract through EnviroSite, which is the manufacturer of our equipment. As you can see, we do have a contract down here. It's SCO1-21, and we do everything from truck builds to equipment itself. This is a line, the listing of the products that we handle. We have everything from mainline crawlers and lateral launch, so you can actually be going down the main and launch a camera up the lateral, because you can't always get access at the home. We do have pole cameras. We have manhole scanners. That's becoming more and more important as environmental quality and I&I mitigation happens. We have push cameras. We have nozzle cameras for the jetter. And again, truck builds, everything from trailers to full trucks, vans. We've done some Suburbans, Tahoes, and smaller vehicles as well. Our systems are portable. At the bottom, you kind of see imagery of each one. And the second one from the left, that's our base system. And we have customers put those on the back of side-by-sides for areas that it's hard to get access to. The sewer or wastewater environment or stormwater environment is very unforgiving. It's tough. We can go anywhere from a 4-inch all the way to a 96-inch diameter pipe with our standard system. And we do have a larger scale system for larger pipe. We're even going into automation with a lot of this, and I'll come to that more as we go. Our standard setup is a 1,000-foot cable. We can do a 1,500-foot cable as well. Some of the extra systems or add-ons, our systems are modular. So the nice thing is one system can be utilized to do anything from that 4-inch to 96-inch pipe without having to buy other crawlers. So we can add an integrated lift where the camera can be raised higher in the pipe. We can add a side scan, so you can scan the entire pipe with a single pass and then go back and score it or run it through NASCO later. And then we also have a laser profiler, and that checks for ovality of the pipe, lets you see, make sure it's nice and round. That's especially important over the aquifer recharge zones. Our lateral launch, this just got released or re-released this year. We went and redesigned it. This is basically a little different system you saw a second ago. It is segmented. So we can do 90s and 45s with them, depending on the size of pipe. And you can see the front part, the little launch tube guide, those come in various lengths and sizes. And then this is our lateral launcher SAT system side by side. You see our standard cable reel with the SAT cable reel. We do mount a hoist in the vehicle as well for ease of lifting. We can pan and tilt, and we can also pan and tilt up the lateral, which is fairly unique for our system. This gives you a view of our push cables or push camera system. In this picture, you can see someone getting ready to orient it into a pipe. We run these down 90s all day long. We go from a 100-meter, 330-foot down to a 40-meter or 130-foot cable for this system. We can do axial, or again, we could do pan and tilt on a push camera, which again is fairly unique. So while you're pushing, rather than just a fisheye view, you can actually pan and tilt the camera up so you can see better what you're looking at. This is our pull camera. It's called a quick view. And this basically we have a system called the PASS system, and that's a phase assessment is what it stands for. And you can drop this down a line real fast and have a real good idea what's going on in the pipe for just a quick peek. And we can do up to 30 feet deep with this system. You can go deeper with additional poles, but our standard pole is 30-foot telescopic. This is our nozzle camera, our jet scan. And you attach this to the jetter, runs down the line and gives you a quick view. That way the jet crew doesn't have to wait for a camera truck or a camera to be brought out. So a real quick view, downloads wirelessly to a smartphone or tablet, and you can see the video of what it's seeing in the pipe. This is our application. Again, it runs on tablets, iPads, but it's wireless, so you can see what's going on. This links up to our to our quick view, our jet scan camera. And then we have our manhole scanner. This is going to be changed soon, but this is our current iteration. Can do a 33-foot deep manhole within 2 minutes. That's complete 360-degree scan, laser point cloud, everything. So you can then go back and do your NASCO surveys. This is going to be the new system. We're not showing you everything on here, but the other system could do up to 30 manholes a day per the factory. We think it's closer to 20. This one will allow you to do up to 50 manholes a day, and it's going to be about half the price. And I can't talk a lot about it because we're still developing it, but it's going to be this fall that we'll have that available. And this gets into some of our truck and truck builds. As you can see, this is a list of our standards vehicles we've built out. We custom build those with all the accessories you want, from safety lighting to air conditioners to doggy doors or shade screens. Here in Texas, it gets really warm, so we can custom build pretty much anything how you want it at any point. And gives you kind of a view on the inside. When we do a build out, you have the work bay on the left, and then you have your operator's bay on the right. So, and there is a door dividing and a window to aid in communication, but that allows this area to be air conditioned so they can do their observations without dying of a heat stroke in a van. This is a newer system, and this is our AI system. Basically, it's a service we offer. You can submit a video to us, and our Supermatic AI will actually go through. As you can see, it's pointing out cracks and roots and bad joints. So you don't even have to score this. It can actually score automated for you if you would like. We are located all over the United States. Here in the Texas area, we're headquartered right there where the little green dot is. But you can see all of our service centers, and our headquarters for the equipment is here in the United States. So you're not having to wait for things to go overseas for repair. We could actually do full repair here in Texas or any of these service centers. So if you're out of Texas, we can handle that. Like I saw someone was from Alabama at Gulf Shores. We have that available as well. And our contract number is SC0121. The parent company of the equipment is Envirosite. And as you can see, my contact information is there. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer after we're all done. Thank you very much.
Good job. Great presentation. To all three of you that have already presented, to everyone on the call, I just dropped a link to all of our current contracts, including the 2 that we are featuring today in the chat. Feel free to check that out. And then to the 3 companies, vendors that were already represented, if you would just stick your contact information in the chat. And while you are doing that, Nicolette is going to pull up a quick testimonial from one of our vendors who has used HGACBuy.
I'm Deborah Gilbert, Director of the Communications Center in Walker County. I have a staff of 11 telecommunicators full-time and 3 part-time telecommunicators. We get about 100,000 calls a year, being non-emergency and emergency. About 45,000 of those are 911 calls or emergency calls. Since the pandemic started, I would say initially the call volume was lower because of the shutdowns and more people working at home. We did see an increase in some kind of calls, like domestics and that kind of stuff. Now I would say we're pretty close to normal. Now, all of our bigger things we got through HGACBuy process. Our furniture, the radio systems, our chairs. We have really nice, expensive 24/7 chairs that we purchased through HGACBuy. The HGACBuy program, I think, is a big help because it does simplify the process. And obviously, buying things is part of my job. However, it's not the whole job. And so while I'm trying to purchase furniture or purchase chairs or something, I'm also trying to worry about schedules and that kind of thing. And so having something that simplifies the process frees up my time to be doing other responsibilities. We get a lot of calls you wouldn't expect to get on 911, people asking how long their electricity is going to be off, that kind of stuff. Probably the oddest one I can remember off the top of my head is getting a 911 call from a lady that said she woke up to a lobster on her floor. It was actually a crawfish. She lived near a creek.
All right. And so we're sure that many of you are busy just like she is. So we have our contracts and our vendors here to help you save time and some money along the way. We'll move right along to hear from Ames.
So I'm going to start off by giving you a little overview of Ames, and I've got a video of some folks that'll give you a little history on Ames companies, and then I'll dive right into our primary services that we offer through HGACBuy. So this map here gives you a little idea of our footprint. As I mentioned, I'm in Brenham, so I'm kind of centrally located right here between Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas. And let's see if I can get this video to play.
Ames Companies is a industrial, municipal, and environmental servicing company that provides very important services specifically to the aging infrastructure within our country. The core services that Ames offers is industrial cleaning, municipal cleaning and inspection, and hydro excavation. Those services make up 90% of our revenue on an annual basis. We're a business comprised of manpower and specialty equipment. We've been very fortunate to have great suppliers who are on the forefront of technological advancements and utilizing those technologies to make us work safer and more productive.
Without a doubt, our number one priority is safety. Safety is imperative to us. We believe that safety first, last, and always. We work very, very hard to bring in the right people and to make sure that they understand that they are the strength of this company as we grow. The stability of the company is our equipment, is our customers, is everything that we surround ourselves with and empower ourselves to get better every single day.
Ames Companies.
Okay, so I hope that came through. You can never tell with technology, but that's a little on the background of Ames. That's some of our guys there in corporate that is located in Phoenix, Arizona. So to dive right into some of the services, and some of this ought to look a little familiar to you based on the presentations today. So like Hudson said, we provide the manpower with some of the equipment that we've discussed today to offer inspection services for both sanitary and storm sewer pipe. So these are our primary services, inspection, and you can't talk about inspection without talking about cleaning the pipe as well. Very difficult to effectively inspect a dirty sewer line. So we offer that cleaning service as well. And the term has been mentioned a couple of times today, the NASCO certification. So we follow NASCO guidelines, and what that means, there's a binder that's about this thick, if not bigger. And all of our operators are trained. We have an in-house trainer as well, but they're trained on all of those codes. It's a binder full of sewer codes, grease, incoming, lateral, just all, you can't even imagine all the things that are in that binder as far as coating pipe. And what they do is, as we inspect our sewer pipe, we code real time by NASCO guidelines, and then we provide that data to the end user, which could potentially be you guys. And then you do with that what you will, analyze it as far as what's going to need to be replaced, rehabbed, what looks good, what needs to be put on a maintenance schedule, etc. But all that's done in the field, in the back of that van right there, and gets delivered to our customers. The cleaning is complementary, like I said, to the inspection service. You got to have a clean pipe to be able to inspect it. This unit at the top right here is a combination unit. So you see that hose reel at the front and the vacuum coming over the top. And then they also have a hydro excavating kit mounted in there as well. It's kind of a multi-purpose unit, clean sewer pipe. But another service that we can also offer through HGACBuy our contract, the SCO 121, is hydroexcavation. It's all a similar process that combo unit does, but this middle unit here is like a true hydroexcavator. And hydroexcavation is just a fancy term for digging with water. And so where it originated, need to hit that. Where it originated is more in the industrial side. Think like a refinery with all this, sensitive infrastructure underground, and they want to do an expansion. Well, they're not going to bring out a traditional excavator and risk damaging all those underground utilities. So that's kind of where hydroexcavation came in, as a way to dig without the potential for destruction on anything that's underground, all of those underground utilities. So think like a pressure washer, a high pressure water coming out of that wand that is then creating a mud, and then that vacuum that's lower down there is going to suck out that debris, that mud, that sand, and create a void. So that's how you're digging. It's as simple as that, but also it can be a very intricate process as well. We've got trained operators who know what tips they need to use on the end of that wand to get the most effective dig, and what ground conditions they're working with that are going to, all those things influence their decision on how they go about the digging process. So that's a little about hydro excavating. Many applications obviously started out as more of an industrial service and has come to be more of a municipal service as well, because there's all kinds of stuff underground these days. Unless you're way out in the middle of nowhere, and even then you just never know what's going to be under the ground. And so we provide all kinds of applications for hydro excavating: pole holes, potholing, utility locates, trenches. We do full foundation piers, all kinds of stuff with that unit right there. And then we can also provide the backfill as well, which is what that bottom unit is. So that's a little about the cleaning process of vacuum excavation and then hydro excavation as a service. So all those are offered through our HGACBuy contract, and would love to visit more, obviously, and answer any questions that you might have about Ames companies.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Darcy. Great presentation. Again, don't forget to jot those questions down. Next, we will hear from Neptune.
My name is Hunter Brown. I'm the Neptune territory manager. I live in Houston, Texas. We have folks all over the country and distributors that manage various areas. In the Texas area, Core and Main is our distributor, and they have 20 locations across the state. So a little bit about Neptune. So we are a water meter manufacturer. We started well over 100 years ago, manufacturing meters in New York. There's a couple of images here. You see the original location and then our new location that is in Tallahassee, Alabama. We are 100% focused on the market of water. And since our beginning, we have manufactured meters in the United States. So we're very proud of that. We own and operate our own foundry as well in the US. It's a little bit more expensive to, if I'm being completely honest, to manufacture meters the way we do, and not outsourcing it to other countries. But we also believe it allows us to keep a closer eye on quality control. So we have been very, very fortunate through the years. I'm not going to read the sales numbers. I think they kind of speak for themselves. But yeah, we've done very well, and we've been able to do that by consistently innovating. Again, starting off manufacturing just mechanical meters and moving on into all kinds of automation. So whenever we work with our utility customers, we have conversations with them about their goals, because we know that water systems all have different starting points on their pathways to automation. And we provide multiple technologies to help meet their needs. So simply put, we don't believe that there's a one size fits all model or technology. that all systems need to adopt in order to meet their goals and their needs. So this slide here gives you a basic overview of our network. So there's three main components. We have our water meters, we have our method of collecting all the data, and then we have a method of presenting all of that data. Water meters, we have a full line of 5/8 by 3/4 up to 12-inch mechanical meters, as well as ultrasonic Mach 10 meters, which I'll highlight here on the next slide. As far as collection of all the meter data, we do walk-by systems, drive-by, traditional fixed networks where you have utility-owned infrastructure that goes on elevated service tanks and other tall structures around town. And then we have network as a service offerings. One that we'll highlight today is cellular. But all the data comes from there, goes to the cloud, and then goes into our software. And it's funny whenever I was listening to the Duke's presentation earlier today, because I believe we have marketing teams that think alike, because our software is called Neptune 360, which is kind of a funny deal there. But I'm going to jump into the meters themselves. So, each one of these, before I do that, each one of these categories, we could have hour-long conversations about each one. So if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to myself at the end of this, or, I can help put you in contact with your local rep. They can come by in person to discuss any of this stuff further. All right, so our Mach 10 meters. This is an ultrasonic water meter. We're very proud of it. We own all the patents and the designs to this. We didn't private label any of this technology, so it's all in-house. These meters are extremely accurate over a wide range of flows. The reason that is important is that a traditional water meter that has mechanical moving parts will wear out over time. And at the end of the day, a water meter is a water systems cash register. When you bring it down to what exactly it does, its sole job is to generate revenue for it and properly, accurately track that. In a mechanical meter, American Water Works Association recommends that residential mechanical meters are changed out every 10 years. These meters here that you see, the residential size is the 5/8 to 1-inch, have a 20-year accuracy. That's warranted accuracy. So it's extremely important to ensure the long-term, success of water systems. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight those. Next thing I want to highlight is our cellular endpoint. So this again is a network as a service. So it's a automated meter reading technology. So water meters would be equipped with one of two of these flavors, if you will, of radio endpoint that you see down here on the bottom left of that slide. And what that is going to do is that's going to send the data from the meter out to the cellular network. It's not only going to cellular network, it's going specifically to FirstNet. We're very excited to be working with FirstNet. So for those of you all that may not be aware, FirstNet was created as a result of 9/11 and the technology struggles that first responders had during that time. And so AT&T and the federal government came together and created what they call a public-private partnership and created a 25-year contract. We are now 3 years into that contract, so there's 22 years remaining. The reason I go through that, because it's extremely important, is we operate on FirstNet. So we're not on the commercial cellular networks, because if we were, there'd be concerns over, well, how does 3G migration to 4G to then 5G to whatever else is coming in the future, how does that affect my ability to read my meters? And specifically with 3G to 4G, that actually required a change out of the radio endpoint itself. So yeah, that is obviously we're talking about significant amounts of money when we have customers that have, whether it's 500 meters or 500,000 meters. It's important to know that these are long-term solutions, and we have that in mind. As mentioned, all the data is going to come into our head-end software, regardless of whether we the read meters, manually or via drive-by or via a fixed network. It all comes into Neptune 360. We manage all this data in the cloud. We utilize Amazon Web Services. We have cell phone applications as well as desktop applications that allow us to present the data and really bring the system to life. And again, this is definitely a recommendation if you are interested in any type of automated metering system. We would love to show you a demonstration of our software. And that's it. That's a very brief overview of Neptune and who we are and what we do. My contact information is provided there.
Thank you, Hunter. All right, so Hunter and Darcy, don't forget to put your contact information in the chat for everyone. We will move to our very last presenter today from Harben.
All righty, let me see here. All righty, can everybody see everything and hear me well?
Yes.
Cool. Thumbs up. All right, cool. So my name is Tony Gomes with Harben Incorporated. Basically what Harben does is we create the machines that do the dirty work for you. So we invented the industry back in 1971. Before there was a water jetter, everybody used to use the old manual rotors, basically to clean any kind of sewer system at all. We basically brought Harben from flow plant in the UK to the United States in 1971. Whoops, sorry. So again, we've been manufacturing since 1971. In that time, we've built over 20,000 bare shift pumps and 20,000 complete jetting systems. So all of our machines are fitted with a P-type pump. So what that means is every other manufacturer and all of my competitors out there basically take components off of a shelf and build a jetter. Basically, what we did was we invented the Harben radial piston diaphragm pump. Alrighty, so the benefits, and I'll just be really quick on why you would buy a Harben over a different machine. So Harben pumps are way more reliable than plunger pumps, simply because there are a couple of different benefits. So first of all, they can run completely dry indefinitely. So lots of my competitors out there will say they have a run dry pump. However, they may have a quart of water on the side and they give you a little warning. You've got 2 minutes, the pump fails. Any kind of plunger pump repairs, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So those plunger pumps require water for two different things. They require water to both cool as well as to lubricate that system. The Harben radial piston diaphragm pump does not have any packings or seals or anything to wear out. And they also produce a very stable, high pressure water stream. All righty. So as far as strengths and weaknesses, again, the plunger pumps use water passing through the pump to lubricate the packings. Harben got away with this system because all of our internals are in a DTE extra heavy bath. So there's no water in there gumming anything up to corrode anything at all. Again, plunger pumps also rely on the water quality to be very clean and very high quality. So a Harben pump can take anything to 5 microns. So I literally have people who will throw it into a lake to be able to pull water out of that. So there's lots of different things that kind of set us apart. So since its launch, basically plunger pump manufacturers out there have been trying to compete with the P pump in the small bore sewer cleaning market. But even today, still the same issues exist. So they need water, again, to cool it and to lubricate it. Another really cool, and this may not work out for Texas, but I have a lot of guys in Canada and up north where it gets 20 degrees cold. Our system can freeze completely solid without any damage being done to the system at all, for the simple fact that there's no water in there to freeze and damage anything. So Harben pumps come in a variety of different form factors. So if you look at this picture here on the left, we've got just a regular P pump, which produces PSI anywhere from 4,000 to 8,000 with a pump flow of 18 to 25 gallons per minute. If you look on the right side, that's more of an industrial application. We can get all the way up to 20,000 PSI, up to 30 gallons per minute. All righty. So, let's think different. So the radial piston diaphragm is different. Again, it has no seals, no packings. It's got the longest service interval out of anything else out there. I literally have guys from the 80s with pumps with 30,000 hours on them, and they're still working. So again, it's multi-cylinder in the sense a triplex pump only has 3 pumps working. The radial piston diaphragm pump is set up anywhere from 6 to 8 different pistons and diaphragms, which gives it that smooth output and a very high power to weight ratio. Again, we created the industry in 1981. We've got tons of units out in the market, and I appreciate everybody's time. If you guys have any questions at all, I will put my information here in the chat, and that's all I got for you. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Great presentation. Thanks. Please put your contact information in the chat. We thank all of our vendors for presenting today. If you have not already put your contact information in the chat, please do so now. We are going to open up our Q&A session now. So if anyone has questions, feel free to raise your hand and you can unmute yourself to ask your questions, or you can place them in the chat. What is the average time span of a Duke's 360 project from start to finish? That question was specific for Duke's.
Great, good, great question. So typically our data collection lasts about 60 days, and then it's about 8 weeks to the final deliverables. So we're going to be installing all of our technologies over the 60 days. Usually the manhole inspections and the acoustic inspections are done right away, and we can get some preliminary results to our customers within the 30 days. And then the eye tracking micro detection sensors, we usually leave those in for the 60 days so we can collect good dry and wet weather data that can be analyzed. And sometimes we don't get all the rain that we'd like to achieve in that first 60 days. So we will automatically extend our study another 30 days to give Mother Nature the opportunity to give us what we need. And it's important to note the time is not what our clients are being charged for. They're being charged for the results. So whether the study takes 60 or 90 days, there's no difference in cost.
All right, great question, great answer, Brian, thanks. Along with that, I'll shoot in a quick question for the first 2 vendors that will answer it. So a lot of our contracts and vendors have, had issues because of the supply chain issues everywhere with everything. Has that affected you all in any way, contracts? And if so, how? Any takers? If not, I'm going to call you out.
Tony, you look like you're trying to talk, but you're
Oh,
muted.
sorry, I didn't even see your mouth. So sorry.
Yeah, no, I can address that. No problem. So, we've been doing business with HGACBuy for years and years and years. And when we initially set our pricing, we've had 3 to, I think, actually 4 price increases since we did our annual contract. So HGAC was really, really good about allowing us, or really allowing the end user to get their margins by, I can't remember the exact process, but if you guys want to text me, I can send you, or email me, I can send you exactly what we did. But there's a little section that you can put in there. This is what the pricing is. Here is why. And then we're allowed to get those additional funds, so our end users can get their margins at the end of the day. So we solved that basically.
Good. Sounds good. Any other takers for that question? Has it affected you differently or not? Or is that the consensus for everyone on the call?
Some of the things that we deal with is like when some of our equipment is down, whether it be the big combo trucks or the camera equipment, especially that, because that can get very specialty like, but parts just taking a long time. But over time, our mechanics, along with our like regional mechanics, have learned what to stockpile, what takes longer, and just have made adjustments that way where we can still get back out there as quickly as possible if something goes down. So it's just been kind of an adjustment period, like I'm sure everybody else has dealt with. But it affects everything.
All right. Thank you, Darcy. All
Arlene,
right.
I'd like to add something to that.
Yes. Who's that? O'Brien. I see you.
Yes. So, the price of fuel has been driving all of us crazy.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to the leadership of our company. We have not had to pass on those costs to our customers for the root control services. As long as our clients are meeting our minimum of 3,000 feet of pipe to be treated, you're not adding any surcharges to that root control service. So I don't know if that'll change. It looks like prices are somewhat stabilized for fuel, but just a testimony to our leadership and really trying to meet the budget restraints that our clients have, which is especially challenging when there are increased costs across the board. So
yes, that's great news. Good, positive news. Thanks, Brian. I have another question come in for Ames. Says, with the hydro evacuation, how do you guarantee that the blockage isn't just pushed further down the pipe?
Okay, so we are talking more so about pipe cleaning then, which is a similar process to hydro excavation, similar equipment, but we have a process for cleaning. We always go upstream to downstream, and we've got that vacuum that was pictured in the presentation lowered right there in the access point to suck out any debris that is brought back by that nozzle. If there's a situation where we've got a lot of flow in the pipe, we also might put a barricade if we need, or stop that flow somehow. It just depends on the conditions of the pipe and what's going on inside the pipe. But we do, guarantee with that vacuum there that is very high powered. It's not like your vacuum in your house. It's going to suck out that debris that nozzle brings back. And those operators know at what rate to bring that nozzle back as well, so you don't overwhelm the vacuum at all either. So yeah, we don't send anything downstream, and even if we have to go into extra measures.
All right. Thank you again, Darcy. Good answer. Good question. All right. I put last call for questions in the chat and I haven't gotten any more, but Derek did respond earlier, and looks like supply chain issues isn't affecting this contract as much as others. Obviously, we have some big ticket item contracts and it's driving them crazy. So good thing for you guys. Very good positive news that is not really affecting you guys as much. All right, we just want to thank you guys for coming today. Closing out, we have a few more open houses this year. Nicolette just dropped the link for those in the chat. If you would review those and sign up. Next year is going to be totally different again. So be prepared to see marketing and signups much earlier this year for our vendors and members, because there will be much fewer open houses next year. So be prepared for that. Also, Nicolette dropped our conference schedule in the chat. We are traveling back outside for sure, nonstop. Seems like. So come by our booth, come see us, shoot us a message if you would like to meet up with us in person, have questions. This is for both members and vendors. You can schedule a meeting with us and we will get with you guys at those conferences if you will be there also. And that is all we have. We won't hold you any longer. So you guys are free to go. Thank you so much for joining us today. Great presentation, vendors. Thanks.